Welcome back to Hazardous Endeavors. Yes, indeed. The 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons actual play podcast brought to you by Digital and Dice. I am your host, your GM, Mark. Joining me today is Wizard James.
Hello.
The Lady Crass.
It's me.
Voiceover guy Brian.
It is I.
And sound guy Steven.
It's him.
Who?
That one. You.
Oh. Yo.
And where we last left our intrepid adventurers, you had been imprisoned for a little while.
We had a night in the drunk tank for freeing an angel.
Yeah, among other things.
An enslaved baby kitten angel.
And now we have to go get a giant book.
Right.
I love how it went from a bunny to a kitten to a moth or butterfly.
Yeah.
It is a magical angel butterfly.
So, as you have been offered a method of penance, as it were, the Professor Anya Thistlethumb, the not young, but the halfling professor up at the Arcane University, has offered you a way of repaying your debt to the city by retrieving a book known as the Abnormicus. And she lets it be known that, sure, the book itself is fairly large because it used to belong to a storm giant, and it has been stolen by a half-elven wizard, a student from the university, who has taken it out and has sequestered himself, more than likely in a tower somewhere out in the countryside. You've been given a map to the last known location where they are able to track them before they basically went off the radar. And you have been handed a large wrought iron key in the event that you need to secure the book.
Yep. That's tied to my belt.
Yep.
Okay, so we need to go there, beat up a guy in a mustache, take his book, his very large book, put it on the cart and head home.
How would he be in a mustache?
As you get more and more evil, your mustache can in fact grow.
Magic.
Also,
I'm fine with magic.
Also, he's playing with giant magic, which I imagine can possibly give him a giant mustache.
I mean, I can't fault your logic. So on that, you have gathered your equipment. You have acquired a cart from Emmett and Anavar Frostmoon, and have left the city-state of Anrelathan and headed to the northeast, traveling through the countryside. It is still fairly early in the morning. The sun has risen. The area around is a very pristine and gorgeous countryside. A lot of steep and high hills that are closely packed together with copses of trees throughout. The roadway itself fairly nicely paved, and every so often is one of those continuous flame lanterns on a lamppost that lights the way. Even during the day, they are lit.
So are you saying that we are traveling through Hill Valley?
I mean, there are valleys through hills, so theoretically, yes.
Okay.
So as you're making your way through, you can hear bird song. The sun is in the sky. There's a few puffy white clouds traveling across the way.
This seems cartoonishly peaceful.
Almost. It's and this is the same kind of thing you were feeling when you made your way down into the outskirts of the city-state, is that it does feel that the weather here is far nicer than elsewhere. It seems that it is almost supernaturally nice here.
All within the menacing shadow of wizard towers.
Mr. Wilf.
Yeah?
You're already on my shit list. You must insult me every single second we're here.
I had to step in for just a moment that we are actually going to a tower that has a wizard in it who did something evil.
Who's probably used the Ginormicus to fill said tower.
I think it's called an Abnormicus.
Abginorma.
Comic
This.
Abginorma Comic.
Yeah, obviously, and he probably used said magical MacGuffin to fill the tower with terrible, unspeakable magics that we will then have to adventure through, proving exactly what I was saying about a wizard's tower being a ticking time bomb of just turning into a dungeon.
I mean, he's not wrong in this particular circumstance, though he should not stereotype because that is wrong.
Now, do keep in mind he said ticking time bum.
Right.
Yes.
Please note that, yes.
Are wizards bums? I do not think so. He had a very nice house.
Well, I mean,
Thank you, Lindo.
By nature of them having wizard towers, they're not bums.
you're right.
Because they have a home.
Until it explodes.
In fact, Mr. Wilf, I believe the bomb is you.
Oh no, I had a home. It was very nice home.
Had a home.
Right.
I came to this country in a box.
Yeah, in fact, the wizard of the party is the only one currently with a home.
Jaxom lives in a church, yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He has a home.
Yeah, it's sort of, and like the abbot said, he's always welcome back. He can go and live a nice life of
And I did have a box.
playing with dirt.
But then I made it into firewood so I would be less wet.
Okay, Lindo. That doesn't change the fact that you guys are both homeless.
Well, I would like to think that my heart is in the right place.
Your chest.
And therefore, yes, in my chest. That's usually where it goes, yes.
It depends on the species.
Home is where the fire camp is.
I met a chemist who did some rearranging so that if any assassin stabbed him, they could not find his heart.
Huh.
It was in his ankle, wasn't it?
Well, he ended up
We're all saying this, I
digesting his
assume, while we're
throat.
on the cart heading to where we are going.
Making your way northeast through the pastoral countryside, every so often seeing the top of a tower, peeking up through a copse of trees or up on top of a hill here and there, as well as some other more modest dwellings. Yes?
Elliot,
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
Why is it always a tower? Maybe there would not be such a stigma if they didn't all build towers. I mean, do you guys go through the same architect?
No. There's actually quite a few other wizard dwellings here.
It's
But
A
I mean,
lot
like-
of them can also be underground. It's usually just where their experiments are best. If they need to be high, closer to the moon, they build towers. If they need to make sure their evocation magic doesn't blow up the land, they build underground.
But I mean, like, I
think
can
it's
see,
just
like,
that
10
the towers had a
towers from
group
here.
on.
There are many wizards in this country.
I mean, that's a 1, 2,
You count all the wizard towers while I
I'm kind of
regain my spells.
dubious on the evocation magic blowing up the ground.
3
so
again?
their towers are
no,
underground.
4.
Yeah. Depends on the wizard, I suppose.
Also,
Yeah, but then why do you live in a tower?
don't live in a tower. I live in a nice mansion house.
That happens to
been
be
in.
slightly cylindrical and ridiculously high.
It's only like 2 or 3 floors, isn't it?
Yeah, it's only like 3 floors, and it's more of a rotunda than it is actually a tower.
It is a short squat tower.
I mean, yes, but what isn't?
It is also located a couple sections above the ground.
Yes, that is
a
also
short,
true.
tall, floating tower.
It is a slim townhouse.
Sounds a little bit like a tower to
Kind of
me.
like a tower.
So,
It sounds a little shady.
I mean,
Well, that's because there's bigger towers all around it.
it's okay, I feel for you. The travel out there takes you the better part of the day. Towards mid-afternoon, almost early evening, is when you have made your way off of the main cobbled road onto a dirt path that follows the hills deeper, closer to the wooded area on your map. And as you're getting closer, every so often, off to the side of the road, the same kind of pillars that you had seen before, they become less and less common. So as the roads are less kept in kind of the offshoots, it obviously has less lighting, and generally it's just more.
We're moving to the more of the
rural.
outskirts and
Yeah.
sort of the far end of the suburbs.
Pretty much.
Yeah, the further out you go, the crazier the wizard.
You know,
So
I'm gonna leave it.
these would be considered hedge wizards.
So maybe we talk about something else. Like the underground ones.
You know, that is actually very interesting, because most times when I see some sort of stronghold underground, we have a word for it.
Dungeon?
Yeah.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Are you a word thief? Look at you.
I do not steal from friends. It is impolite.
You certainly steal from other people, though.
Oh yeah, they're not my friends.
Right.
I don't know them.
Just as long as you be nice to this card. It took me like 3 hours of convincing in order to get it.
Okay.
I mean, it was like asking my parents for the car.
Right.
The cart.
Another,
Come on, I want to go hit the town. Let me the cart for the night.
Another couple of hours or so leads you out through the woods, and eventually ahead of you, a smaller dirt path heads up, and you see somewhat recent cart tracks rolling up them.
How? I guess it would be a survival.
It
to
would
try
be a
to-
survival, yeah.
I'm gonna try it. It's not gonna work well.
I can understand that.
Sure. Try it.
Aha! Jack of all trades gave me an 11.
Okay.
A 7.
Okay.
A 7.
All right. And a 3.
Yeah.
So there is some traffic that makes its way out here. You can tell because there's a road. And
Tracks.
sometimes there are things that go down that road. And those things leave tracks, like these ones. Now, there are tracks going further down the road, and there are tracks going off this way on the smaller path. You can't quite tell which one's the most recent or anything else about them other than there are tracks, and those are roads.
I think we should go up.
You
I
know
am
what?
most definitely sure, with my knowledge and skill for survival, that we should go up the dirt hole.
Well, maybe you should take another look at it, Lindo. I know that you were always so good at seeing things with your eyes and being so perceptive and
I am very
tracking-like.
good
And
with my
here,
eyes.
have a D8 of inspiration to try to give that another try. Because I believe in you.
Except what I am going to actually do is convince them that this is the way to go, whether I use survival or not.
Sure, go
and
for it.
use this inspiration I was just handed.
Have that.
Yes.
You believe that is deception then, and go ahead and roll your inspiration alongside it.
That is an 8 plus a 6 plus an 8.
So for 22.
I am most definitely sure with
passive
my,
insight-wise,
with my
12.
keen eyes.
yeah, Lindo does seem to have a pretty good way of
we should go up this
explaining
hill.
that the hill does
Very
seem to be
sure
the
about
most likely way, without having to use things like, because I said so, or that, that way is shinier.
I want you to look at the road and realize that things come down,
Okay.
Right.
right? But these tracks obviously go up,
Okay.
which is a way from where we are currently standing. And we do know, in fact, that the book is not here, therefore away from us.
He's right. The book is not here.
Obviously up this hill.
I'm granting you inspiration for that.
Woo!
Other type of
Yeah,
inspiration.
you get to, yeah.
Thanks.
You have another luck point you never
That's
use.
glorious, and I love that.
You're welcome.
I regret nothing.
So does that mean then that you are swayed to Lindo's idea?
I absolutely
Obviously.
believe it.
Okay. Jaxom?
He's talked and talked, and I just don't care anymore.
Jaxom hasn't hit anything in a while and has grown itchy.
My smiting arm's gotten itchy.
Not my smiting arm.
So
So I lead our party up the hill.
Okay. You turn the cart, make your way up the thinner road, and you follow that as the sun is setting over the horizon, and it's starting to get dark. The shadows are getting longer, and after a ways of travel down this road...
Would you say that it's been at least an hour of traveling down this road?
Absolutely.
Cool.
You guys could have a short rest while you're on your way out there. Yeah.
Oh, that is a good thing.
Okay.
Also...
So, any damage you would have had from the previous game, of course, is...
I don't know what you're talking about.
Because it's been a night.
Yeah, you guys have spent the night in prison. You guys had a long rest there.
Yeah, you know,
Minus 5 hit points for that hangover.
I was really expecting a magical sleep to cure over the hangover thing.
With the short
You
rest,
would
I did
think.
regain a 3rd level spell.
Perfect. Sounds good. And sure enough, as it starts getting a little bit too dark for you to see the path in front of you and the light spells come up, is when you make your way out into a bit of a clearing between a couple of the steeper hills around it. And you're in a bit of a courtyard area where it looks like carts are, able to turn around. There is actually a cart currently parked here, although it looks like whatever beast of burden was pulling it has since disappeared or run off. And the cart is sitting next to a low wall with an open gate leading to the door in the bottom of a tower.
Oh.
Mr. Lindo, good job.
Obviously. You're welcome.
So we're looking
Thank you.
for
Uh-huh. You are very welcome.
Prentice.
I
We're
don't.
looking for Drom.
Okay.
Prenistus Drum.
Drom.
Yes.
Pernistus.
Okay, I bet he got bullied in school.
He sounds like an elf.
He probably didn't.
That was a little.
He was in a school full of wizards.
Yeah, but I bet you the Tiberiuses thought that they were the coolest thing, and then
I'm just saying that if your name is Johan, you're from up north, okay?
and like
And Pernistus sounds like an elf.
Zadkiel and but Pernistus is sort of a wet blanket.
And nose up sort of sound.
Okay.
A pointy ear sort of sound.
So, sure enough, ahead of you is the doorway into the bottom level of this tower. Seems to be no more than maybe 3 or 4 stories tall, though. Not an exceptionally tall tower.
I think on the fact that we can see that it is at least a 3-story tall tower, that we can in fact say that Elliot's home is a tower. Just based off what I see here.
Well, I will not argue with you, though I will say, how do we want to do this? Do we want to try to, climb the sides of the tower? Do we just want to try to go in the front door and make
I
our
use
way
my
up?
eyeballs to see where the easiest entrance is to go in.
Oh, okay. There is a front door.
Uh-huh.
Starting on the 2nd level, there are several windows that you can see.
Uh-huh.
They look shuttered up, but, you're not sure whether they're locked or how they're secured otherwise.
How good at climbing do you think you
At
are,
the
Jackson?
top level, there seems to be several windows around.
If it's athletics.
Hey, Jaxom, you have a key, yes?
It's for the book.
Uh-huh. But I bet you can use the key to open the front door?
It's
Well, I
for
mean,
the-
if you...
For the
You
book.
could use the key to open the front door.
I'm just saying that if you put that key on those hinges, they're gonna pop.
Could you not use the very important MacGuffin key on the door? We need it whole in order to lock the book.
I'm sorry, that thing weighs like 1,000,000 pounds and at least $5.
Yeah, well, Jackson has many other ways he can break hinges.
Yeah.
Okay, so punch the door down.
Not gonna punch the door
Also,
down.
that's really loud. I prefer Lindo's way of opening doors.
I'm the one who suggested it, but okay, I will go ahead over there. And you get 2 options.
Mm-hmm.
Either I attempt to climb the tower to go into the 2nd window
Uh-huh.
for reasons.
Okay.
Or I
Okay.
use my mastery of skill and break through the bottom door and then we all walk in. It is all on you.
What? Mr. Wilf,
Yeah?
Since this is your quest, which would you prefer Lindo to do?
Window or door? Window or door?
I can
Lindo.
help Lindo get into the window.
If you could just, open the door.
Okay.
Although, maybe check it for those things that go explodey.
I walk up to the door.
Okay.
I check it for the traps.
Please roll me investigation.
It is a 1.
It seems 100% clear of any traps.
So Wilf said to open the door, so I open the door.
Okay.
I just put my hand on the door, I twist the door, and I push it open.
Right.
How do I pull it open? Is it a push or pull door?
Can you see the hinges or the hinges behind it?
It looks to be a pull door. And
Which means the key totally would have worked.
Totally.
so
I'm not
As
going to use
you-
the key to
as
pop
you-
the hinges.
grab the door and pull it. A glowing rune appears on the door,
Uh-oh.
flashes brightly for a moment, and then everyone who's standing around within a 20-foot radius gets to make me a dexterity save.
Yeah, about that.
It should be pretty much everyone at this point.
I rolled a 1.
Oh, Lord.
You are lucky.
I am lucky.
Better than I was expecting.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to use a luck die.
No,
Okay.
it doesn't matter. I have a 0 on that. 9.
9, okay.
Oh my god, thank god.
16?
16 succeeds.
11.
11 does not.
24.
24 succeeds, and then 9 does not. So, that is, let's see, 4 and 26 points of damage for those of you who failed. 13 points of damage for those of you who succeeded.
Oofta.
20.
As
Can I use
26.
evasion?
You can use, I believe, Uncanny Dodge. But no, sorry, you have to be aware of the attack for that.
No, he takes half damage regardless because
evasion.
evasion.
Yeah, you have evasion, so you take no
Nothing.
damage.
You
No,
take
no,
nothing.
no, if he
He made the save, he takes no damage.
Aha!
So you
ducked.
are fine.
I dodge.
Yeah, you jump behind a piece of bush and statuary on the side there and avoid the thing entirely.
What the hell,
A
Lindo?
massive
I open the
blast
door.
of fire
We open the door. I'm
engulfs the
fine,
front
everybody.
area.
I'm fine. Don't worry about me. How are you?
Ow!
I thought you were certain it wasn't trapped.
I never said anything of the sort. I was told to open the door.
Ow.
The door is open.
This is the second explosive ruin you activated, Lindo.
And this time I learned how to dodge.
Good job.
And sure enough, the door does swing open.
I peek inside.
Okay. It is dark down here. What light there is from outside from the dancing lights, I'm assuming there that you put up in most situations.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're able to see a couple feet in the dim light. What you make out ahead of you is a form of some kind glittering in the light from behind you.
I use my healing light on myself.
Okay. On the floor ahead of you, only about 15 feet away towards the middle of the bottom floor of the tower, something is kind of glittering in the light and you can't quite make it out from here.
That's okay. I'm completely drawn to it.
Okay. So Lindo makes his way into
Hey
the
guys,
tower.
come in here. There's
to
some
the
sort of
bottom
weird
level.
glittery thing. Insight?
Well, as you approach it, you're able to get a better look at it. And what you see is a pile of chains that seem to be made out of, again, the same kind of wrought iron that the key is made of. The links themselves are as thick as your forearm. And there
In
is,
fairness, my forearm is not that thick.
there's almost 20 feet of chains on the ground here. Each link being almost this big. Like we're talking like a foot
must-
long.
Definitely not as thick as my forearm. Maybe like Jaxom's?
Right.
That seems impractically large and maybe indicative of the book being
Obnoxious?
open. The Abnormicus? I don't think that's what it's called.
Can I get perception checks?
Oh, yay.
I can be perceptive.
Maybe.
Oh,
A 19.
19. Okay.
9.
9,
16.
16.
15.
All right. So anyone other than the 9, as you're listening to see if maybe someone heard the explosion, if there's any action or response to it. You're kind of waiting for a moment in the stillness of the tower. You hear kind of echoing down the stairway what sounds like crying and shouting. It sounds like several people are having a conversation. They seem very agitated. At one point, as you're listening, you hear one of them start laughing as the other one's still kind of crying and almost like an agony, in pain. Something seems wrong.
That's not good.
Oh no, a person in help. No, in need. Person in help need.
What are
Need
you listening
help?
to?
You kind of strain your ears. You can just barely make something out. You can't quite tell what it is.
Can I stealth in that general direction?
You can. You make your way up the stairs that go
Okay.
kind of counterclockwise around the tower.
I followed because this is what we were hired to do.
Okay.
A 13.
13. All right.
11.
11. All right.
Sneaking.
I give them a minute, and then I walk.
And I'm behind Jaxom because he is my human shield.
Right.
Or Orca shield.
Here we go.
Fair. So the two of you have stealthed your way up to the second level. The second level, whereas the entry area had some pantry-looking things, like a small kitchenette type thing off against one wall, seemed to be almost like a sitting kind of dining area. The second floor is like living quarters with a bed. There's like a wardrobe it's open. There's things scattered around the ground. Whoever was here was definitely either in a hurry or left things in disarray.
Hey, Lindo. So something occurs to me. This guy who stole the thing, right?
What?
He is a criminal, right?
Yeah.
So we can loot his house after we have secured the Abnormicus.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. You know, the stealing from the terrible.
The sound you're hearing coming down the stairs is more insistent
Pay off our
now.
debt.
You can hear what sounds like
we don't have
pain
to do that now.
screams
All right.
at the same time that you're hearing someone laughing, almost like an ecstasy.
This seems like a bad guy time.
I'll continue to sneak toward that general direction.
Yes.
Okay. And of course, as you're making your way up, the two of you are starting your way up the first set of stairs.
Oh, it's not stealthy though, is
No.
it? It's clank, clank,
Yeah.
clank, and Elliot behind him.
Okay, go ahead with your stealth there.
11.
Okay.
15.
All right.
So we're gonna have a conversation.
Yeah, you're talking as you're making your way up there.
We're whispering.
Yeah, but you crest over into the third floor, which you can see there are windows around the kind of the outside peripheral or words, kind of just around the outside
Circumference?
perimeter. Circumference, yeah, of the kind of circular tower, so you can have a fairly good view of the surrounding area. It is dark outside, though, so what your gaze is drawn to is there are a couple small lanterns that have been lit. One of them on its side, but the actual flame inside seems magical as it's not burning anything that it's near or on. Against one wall, leaning up against the side under one of the windows, you see this massive book. It, again, stands about 5 foot tall, seems 2 foot thick. At this point, it is closed, but it is certainly unbound. The front of it is made up of swirling patterns of inlay, gold, you see silvers, you see other metals that you're having a hard time identifying in the light.
Now, when you say unbound, do you mean that it's got loose sheets of paper
I'm saying
going all over
unbound
the place?
from the chains.
Unchained?
Because
Unchained.
I imagine that if trying to lift it, I would break my spine. I would not break that spine.
Also fair. So that is the first thing that draws your eye because the light is playing on the cover fairly well, almost like parts of it are moving imperceptibly, but the moment you focus on one part, it's not moving, but then some other parts of it are almost twisting and changing form when you're not directly focused on
I don't
it.
like this thing. I
That
don't like this thing.
tone.
And you're now hearing this more, the screaming, the laughing, the crying that's happening just very close to you. And as you come around and are looking just to see where it's coming from, the opposite side of the room, there is this quivering mass that is slightly detaching itself from the wall. You see numerous mouths, dozens of them appearing and disappearing all over the body of this thing. Eyes popping out of what look like pustules to look around madly, only to blink and disappear to be replaced by another screaming mouth. And as the cacophony of noise that is issuing forth from it seems to grate against your senses, almost like it's tearing apart what sanity you have, this is where we roll initiative.
Oh, it's that thing with the words.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
It's like it's gibbering.
Yeah, Elliot?
9.
9. Okay. Lindo?
14.
14. Wilf?
13.
Jaxom?
18.
Ooh, okay.
What the hell is that?
It is an
rolled a
18.
All right. Well, the
Jiminy
first
Christmas.
thing I will need you to do is Wilf and Lindo, I will need you to roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Is it a charm effect?
It is not.
Is it a verbal? Okay. No. Oh.
No.
Okay. No.
5.
2.
Okay, so at this point, both of you are unable to take reactions until the start of your next turn. And on your turn, we will roll a die 8 to see what you do. So starting off, Jaxom, you are still making your way up the stairs. You've heard some shouts of alarm from ahead of you. Followed again, you can hear that screaming, the crying, the laughing, all happening all at once.
Wolf, what the heck is that?
We should hurry up.
Oh, with the jibbering.
Go and make my way.
Jiminy.
All right. You'll
Jibbity.
be able to double move and make your way up. So you get to the top of the.
I don't think I'm gonna need to know how to
you get to the
pronounce
top
that.
of the stairs and see this thing as it's separated itself from the wall and is starting to kind of slide and squirm its way towards the two of them, and now you. So, all right. So then that brings us to Lindo. Lindo, roll a die 8, please.
Okay. Here we go. 5.
5. You get to take no action or bonus action. You get to use all your movement to move. You basically start running over towards the book. You just can't seem to think straight and have run off towards the book.
Hey guys, check this out. I guess
I
going.
have a code with the Dawn Guard that gives me a +1 on all saves.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Well, I imagine I have to roll a d8.
You do indeed.
I roll a 6.
So you as well basically seem to find something interesting off to the left and have now just ran away from where Jaxom is standing and are now kind of off in the corner, kind of next to where the gibbering thing is.
Neat.
You've decided that this is the best place to stand, and you almost kind of come to your senses slightly as you're like, wait, what? So
I am by the book.
At the end of my turn, do I get to make another save?
it'll actually be at the beginning of your next turn.
Oh.
Elliot.
Okay.
So you make your way up, you double move, and you get up behind Jaxom.
Or, no.
No? Okay.
Misty step. 30 feet closer.
All right.
Walk the other 30 feet.
All right. And so you're now behind Jaxom.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
Do I have to roll save?
It'd be if you start your turn within 20 feet of it.
Oh. I'm going to see. I'm going to try to make it so it doesn't. I'm going to try to slow it down. Could you roll me a Constitution saving throw as I cast? It's this one. Frostbite.
Frostbite. It rolls a 5.
Okay, 2d6 and disadvantage on the next attack roll for the next turn.
Okay.
For 3 damage, 3 cold damage.
3 cold damage. Okay.
I'm going to pet this book.
Jeez, Lindo, lately you've been really interested in books.
I like books.
All right. So its turn. It starts to kind of slop forward.
Ew.
Oh, yeah. Wilf, you have wandered over towards it and kind of find yourself standing there wondering what's going on. As it kind of lifts a piece of it, like one side of it lifts up and slaps out at you.
I don't like that.
Gross.
It has disadvantage.
It does. So that is a 7 to hit you.
A 7 does not hit me. I'm like, oh, what is?
And as it misses you, it slams into the wood next to you and crunches into it. You actually see splinters fly up from the floor, the heavy wood floor.
Oh,
So
I don't like it.
that's a problem.
And as one of its mouths that's pointed over towards where Elliot is,
I'm sorry, its mouth
opens
points?
up. Well, there are mouths on that side of it, and one of them opens up, and you see this kind of glowing, bulbous pustule come out, and then pop and spray this stuff over towards you. Let's get
Ew.
you get a DC. You get a
Guys.
dexterity save, please.
Fucking
gosh.
gross.
Add a +2 to that.
Oh, well, that's
good.
wonderful. 19?
Okay, you succeed, so you are not hit by it. You dodge out of the way as the spray kind of passes by you and splats against the window behind you.
I forgot that if you're within 10 feet, you add a plus. You add my con,
Oh, that's right.
my charisma modifier to saving rolls.
That is true.
I like that. You should run over at the monster so that I get that.
That's its turn. Jaxom, please make me a wisdom saving throw.
Yep.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Let's see. That would be a 13.
You're fine.
Okay.
So you are able to act normally.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to go after seeing what it has just done. I'm going to go up and attack it.
Okay.
Help me.
You brought this upon yourself, but if I must, that's a 19.
Okay. By the way, as you make your way over to it, as you're starting to move closer, as soon as you get within a few feet of it, you note that the ground starts to feel squishy. Your foot starts to sink into the wood like it's made of mud. And you're actually
like that.
slowed slightly as you make your way forward. So the last 10 feet of your movement was difficult to get to it.
Ugh.
But you slog through and come down and slam your sword into it.
And that is 14 damage.
Okay. It certainly takes it.
And I will take a second swipe at it.
All right.
15.
15? Yeah, that'll hit.
Okay. And swipe number 2. For 15.
15 points. Okay. So you hack into it twice, your sword flaring up and burning into it as you cut it a few times. Some of the mouths being bisected and splitting open with your sword, only to be replaced by more mouths and eyes growing out from inside the mouths, staring at you. Still screaming and laughing and ululating as it does.
Stop it. Stop. You're
Lindo.
disgusting. No.
Wisdom save, please.
Oh. 19.
You succeed. What would you like to do?
To throw up a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. Is this the book in front of me?
The book is in front of you, yes.
Is it locked still?
No, there's nothing locking it. And as you were kind of petting it there for a moment, it seemed to react to your hand. Like the patterns around where you touched it kind of moved slightly, like they were outlining your hand.
Ah, okay.
Obviously, you should read from the book.
Not a good idea.
Oh. I have a magical dice.
Oh, you do, huh?
It is my 1, 2, 3 dice. Usually between 1 and 3, Lindo does something very Lindo. Between 4 and 5, he thinks about it for longer. Okay, here we go.
And then 6.
It is a 4.
Okay.
He thinks about it just a little longer, and instead, he tries to figure out how to pull the book into the hallway.
Strength check.
I am very strong.
Uh-huh.
I am not very strong.
Right. I understand.
11.
You start trying to drag the book, and you feel that it is far heavier than you're able to pull on your own. So you pull it maybe a few inches over, and then are kind of...
I look exasperated at it.
Okay.
And I lean against it because now I am confused about how we were going to get these anywhere.
Fair enough. Okay. So next in order, we have Wilf. Please make me a wisdom save.
Oh, good. And that is plus your plus 3?
2.
Plus 2. So that's a 14.
Hit. Yes, you're good.
Yeah!
Yeah, succeed.
Succeed.
So, oh my goodness. Can I possibly know what the gibbering hell this is?
Sure, you can make me an Arcana roll.
Arcana says 12.
It is certainly an aberration of some kind. And it is not of this world or something of that nature. It's either summoned in or there's not a whole lot of ways these things get created outside of, well, the wizard
I'm
laboratories.
guessing that this needs a bit of an angel sword.
It entirely could use that, yeah.
Angel sword! And so that is, in fact, a 21.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yes. I'm going to call that a defensive flourish.
Probably for the best.
So it takes... It takes 10 damage,
All right.
and my AC goes up by 3.
Nice. All right. Anything else?
You know, I'm going to hit it with my second attack because I'll have to.
Okay.
That's a natural 20.
Then you certainly crit.
So that does... that does 5 piercing and 6 radiant.
Okay, so 11?
Yes.
All right. Well done.
And then you know what? I'm going to stick here with Jaxom. I think that's safest.
Okay. Then we go to Elliot.
All right.
Yes, please a wisdom save.
Do I get the +2? Is Jackson still close to me?
I moved into...
Yeah, he would have moved across the room, so...
So I don't have it. Okay. No.
Okay, so then on your turn, please roll a die 8.
Don't cast a fireball.
2.
You do nothing.
Okay.
You literally stand there aghast at this thing as you're sure one of the faces just opened and screamed something in a voice you vaguely recognized, and you're caught unawares, and you're staring at it in horror.
Why is it the worst?
It continues to scream and laugh and cry as once again the giant pseudopod-looking part of it sweeps out and swings at Jaxom.
Does it now?
It does.
Really?
A pseudopod?
That would be a total of an 18, so...
No.
Yeah. Then, let's see if this recharges. Nope.
No.
That is all that it does. It seems like one of the mouths opens like it's going to try to spit again, except that the pustule breaks and just dribbles out of the mouth to be drank in by a lower mouth.
What is wrong with you, dear?
Jaxom, it's your turn again.
Oh, you foul beast, be gone.
It's like I
I'm
can
gonna have to
taste
say
it.
no with a 9.
You hit.
Really?
Yeah, it ain't moving fast.
Okay.
It doesn't have armor. It literally is a pile of eyes, mouths, and flesh.
All right. So that's a 12.
12 damage?
Yep.
Okay.
And then
You
once
hack off
more,
a chunk of it.
Another 9.
Okay, you hit.
I just realized something. I actually need to throw another D6 in.
Yeah.
That was another 2 damage.
Okay.
Sorry.
Good enough.
Because I rolled the angel explode, but...
And 8.
All right. So you slash into it, hacking off a chunk of its flesh, which falls to the side, quivers, and flops around on the ground for a moment before sizzling and melting into nothingness. And then you stab down into its center, your sword flaring bright, the holy energy burning around it as it screams and twists and quivers and shakes around your sword until all of the eyes, as they're popping out, they just pop and burst like pustules, the teeth clacking together hard enough to crack against each other as the whole thing clenches up around your sword and then releases and slowly just melts down to the floor, dripping down. You can hear some of it dripping through the floorboards down to the floor below as it just quivers a few times and dies.
Oh.
That was not fun.
That was
So-
disgusting.
Question,
Answer.
on any of the remainder of the meat, is there some sort of sinister goatee.
There doesn't seem to be anything
for some sort of identifying mark.
Perhaps a box nearby full of mustaches?
Arcana check?
You can indeed run an Arcana check, yes.
Because I haven't done that yet.
While they are doing their Arcana stuff, I'm going to sit there and just talk at the book.
Okay.
Okay, pretty book. You want to move for me. We're going to come. You're going to come with me. And we are going to go down the stairs. Okay? All right.
So, Lindo, you're talking to the book. You're like, you want to come with me? You want to do this?
The pretty book. We're going to go downstairs.
The book.
It gets some fresh air.
At first, you're trying to drag it, and you're still having difficulty. On one of the corners where there's a nice piece of what looks to be wrought brass with embellishments, you hear this kind of little sound, and you look up, and a what looks to be a jewel, like a nice kind of clear, almost like a red color inside. Like a little cover opens, and there's this red jewel that it appears up in that corner, and it shines for just a brief moment, and you're looking at it almost transfixed as the book opens, and a tongue lashes out, wraps around you, and yanks you in. And as the rest of you turn around at the yelping sound of Lindo, you see him top half stuffed inside this book, being held up by this tongue wrapped around his body, holding him off the ground. And as you rush to help him, that is where we will end for tonight and this episode of Hazardous Endeavors.
Oh gosh, Lindo, really? Okay.
I got a little cunning.
That's a book that you can really fall into.
And with that, dear Digidicers, thank you once again for joining us for a wonderful episode of Hazardous Endeavors. We hope you'll join us next time as we continue this story and this adventure of these intrepid heroes. And until then, game on, internets!